Hello everyone and welcome to free UFC bet picks. Today we are going over a featherweight matchup between Giga Chikadze and Jamey Simmons. This will be on the UFC Vegas 13 card this Saturday, November 7th. So let's just get right into it here. Giga Chikadze is the favorite, a huge favorite at minus 500. He's got a record of 11-2. Of those 11 wins, he's got 6 KOs, 4 decisions, and 1 submission. 2 losses, 1 submission, 1 decision. Jamey Simmons is plus 35, our underdog. He's got a record of 7-2. Of those 7 wins, 3 KO, 2 submission, 2 decision. And his losses, 2 losses, 1 KO, and 1 submission. This is Jamey Simmons' UFC debut. He does have a 3-fight win streak, but Giga Chikadze is pretty much a lock-in for this fight. The biggest favorite on the card tonight. Although Simmons has a 3-fight win streak, Chikadze has a 6-fight win streak. He's got a UFC record of 4-0. I mean, this guy's like a household name. He's a huge favorite tonight. And did want to mention that all of his wins in the UFC, at least, have been by decision. So his past 4 wins have been 2 split decisions and 2 unanimous decisions. So we know he can go the distance. He's got the cardio, and I see no reason that he would lose this fight.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You know, Jamey Simmons, it's interesting. It's like, who is this guy? Why is he here? Is he a late notice replacement? No, actually. Like, they signed this guy on purpose and paid him money to come fight, you know? So, like, it's that he deserves some credit for that. Like, some, you know, Sean Shelby or whoever the hell, saw something in him. You know, on the regional circuit, he's been fighting kind of nobodies. It's like he gets knocked out round 1 by a knee, but he lost like 4 or 5 fights ago. He lost to a guy who was making his UFC debut. Not UFC debut, MMA pro debut. He was 0-0. He beats Jamey Simmons, and he hasn't fought since. Like, that was 2 years ago. Like, that was probably a late notice replacement type of situation. Yeah. And that guy wasn't some murderer in kickboxing or amateur MMA or something. He was 2-2 as an amateur. Got put in against Jamey Simmons in his pro debut, beats him, hasn't fought since. When Jamey Simmons has won recently, he like slams a guy and the guy doesn't want any more. Jamey Simmons has nice wrestling against, lower level fighters. It's the type of thing where I think like Morgan Sickinger, I think his name is. First time Morgan catches a punch, he just won it out. He had a decent, real fight against Terrence Almond. It was a decision. Jamey won, won pretty convincingly via the takedowns. But Terrence Almond kept just, getting up and reversing position with no technique and no jiu-jitsu, just kind of, low fight IQ, even being on top, low fighter IQ from Jamey Simmons. So it's really hard to get a true gauge on him from those fights. You kind of just throw him out the window and you kind of just look at what you see. It's like, all right, he's 7 inches shorter than Giga, significant reach disadvantage. He's going to get pieced up, right? And Giga pieces everyone up. Giga's just a long defensive, technical striker. He actually, you think he has this big margin on in terms of his efficiency or in terms of his strike differential, but he actually doesn't. He has a slightly negative strike differential. We were kind of expecting Giga to lose the Omar Morales fight. He's low volume. He throws really cool, exciting strikes that are fun to see, like spinning techniques and, nice kicks, but he gasses out pretty early. Well, gosh, the Omar Morales fight kind of wiped away all those concerns. It was high volume, great cardio the whole time, and put it on Morales, who was the favorite, who was coming down in weight. So, Giga's just looked better than ever. For a 3-0 fighter, now 4-0 in the UFC, now 4-0 in the UFC. We kind of didn't think much of him at 3-0. Now we think a ton of him at 4-0. Yeah. He's fighting a guy, Jamey Simmons. All right, he's 7 inches shorter. Is he just a brick crap house, as they say? Is he just like a dominant wrestler? Oh, he's slamming some guys around. No, he's not going to, I don't think his wrestling is at the level of, the guys that Giga's fought. He's got nice explosiveness, but most guys that small do. And so and you think, okay, is he just super shredded? Is he does he cut a ton of weight to make 145? No, his last fight, his last fight, he's like fought at 142 or 143, I think. So he's not really a 145er. He should be fighting at 135. Cut that 7 pounds, right? But he actually did fight at lightweight previously. It was probably because there was no one else available. They needed someone to fog a mirror. There's just so many kind of like weird things that call out Live Dog. He's fought at 155. He's a wrestler. Giga, I think, is, as she said, just lock to win. In terms of the method, so you think, well, minus 500, I got to pick him to finish this guy or something. I don't know. I could really see Giga winning any of 3 ways. If Jamey Simmons tries taking him down, he could easily get submitted. Giga could clearly knock him out on the feet. He could knock him out on the feet like in the first 30 seconds. But Giga's kind of known for just technical defensive striking and winning decisions. So it starts to feel like a pass. Giga's probably going to go in there and knock this guy out in 30 seconds. And, we do have Giga in parlays. I think you parlay Giga money line at minus 500 and Romanov inside the distance at minus 200 or whatever it's going to be. That starts to get pretty much near even money, and that's like free money. Beyond that, we have other parlay pieces. It's kind of a tricky card. There's a couple even fights like the Bevon Lewis, Trevin Giles, and the Heinisch Allen. There's some tricky spots here, real tricky spots. But, Giga plus Romanov inside the distance is just, there's no way that those parlay pieces fall apart.
All right, and their fantasy stats here, we've got Giga Chikadze at 9,300, and his average points per fight are 68.6. And then we have Jamey Simmons. His price is 6,900, and obviously does not have stats yet, as it's his UFC debut. So you did say that Chikadze is a lock-in for this fight. Will you be putting him in your fantasy?
So probably not in daily, like in cash games. That is, he's a certain winner, so he's safe from that point of view. But you hear from the fantasy points per fight, it's not that impressive. Yeah. The Omar Morales fight did have higher volume, did show more pop. He looked more promising, and like I said, he could knock this guy out with one punch. Like, not even knock him out. Jamey Simmons could just want out with one punch. It's tough. I think Giga's going to be pretty highly owned because even at that price tag, there's other people at that low 9,000 price that, you think have a decent chance of losing. I think Giga's going to be decently high owned. I think he's a better cash play than GPP play. Jamey Simmons, if he wins, he's going to be incredibly low owned. He's incredibly low cost.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't expect it to be a finish. He's not going to finish Giga. If he has any chance of winning, it's that he's going to have 5, 6, 7 minutes of ground control, which I do not anticipate.
Yeah.
But we have to, like, from Bobby Green and Thiago Moises, right? You got to remember lessons, and one of the lessons is if a fight's going to go to decision, should anyone in the world be a big 3-1, 4-1, 5-1 favorite? Giga Chikadze over Jamey Simmons, yes.
Yeah.
Bobby Green over Thiago, in fairness, our fault, no. But God, so don't get me started. Right? But so I think there's going to be higher scores than Giga.
Yeah.
I'm torn because, like I said, I can see him knocking him out in 30 seconds. I can see him going to decision, so I'm torn. But he's a good cash play for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about it for this fight. Is there anything else you wanted to add there? So that was it for Chikadze versus Simmons. We both think Chikadze is just a lock-in here. Our next video will be Trevin Giles versus Bevon Lewis. So make sure you like and subscribe and tune into that next video, and we will see you guys there.